It's time for Sports Check on this Monday morning, the 31st day of January, 2021. The month, some say, has got 62 days, has come to a close, but the sporting conversations continue and what is going to come in the future. We shall be having three conversations, actually about four conversations. One is about rugby league, 13-a-side rugby. It's different from union. And number two, what about securing the African footballer and making sure that they're not exploited? Then we also have got the Cricket Kenya Independent Electoral Panel. They're going to be addressing the press today from the Nyayo National Stadium. Plus, Tennis Kenya, they released a state of the game report, their annual report yesterday, and we're expecting that Tennis Kenya President James Kenani will be joining us to tell us about the various pillars on the sport, the state of the game. We shall be moving to a first conversation. It's about rugby league, and we're joined by the director of Fixtures at the Kenya Rugby League Federation, is Kevin Adhere. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Karibu, karibu.
Yeah, before we continue, just to introduce my sign language interpreter, bottom right of your screen, her name is Lenta Odingo. And, Kenya Rugby League, to put it simply,
yes,
the pure differences between 15s and rugby league, which is 13-a-side.
Yes.
Good stuff. Let's just start there.
So basically, the rugby we know is union. We call it union. And then now what we have right now is a rugby league. So it's a much more simpler version of rugby. It's faster as compared to the union version, and a little bit more simpler as compared to the union version, because the union version has so much technicalities, and even like when you watch with people who say they're fans, they barely get to understand what's going on. Even us guys who have played, sometimes you get lost when the ref calls something. It's always an argument. But with the league, it's faster. It's I would say more entertaining. It's sort of like sevens, because the game moves very fast as compared to the union version. Yes.
Some few aspects of this is that, yes, we have got no scrums, no mauls, no.
We have a scrum, but it's uncontested.
Yes.
Yes. There's no mauls though. Yeah. No mauls, no lineouts. Yeah. So it's a very, very quick kind of a version of rugby. Yes. Yes.
And guess what? Kenya has got a national team. They've played previously against Italy, and they also will be playing against South Africa. Frank, if you've got the message from Franz Persons, who is the CEO of Rugby South Africa, let him give that video. He actually tried to speak in Swahili. Quite interesting.
Okay,
it was, Kevin. And now you can tell us about how this team is going to be selected and how the two tests that are going to be played on the 26th of March 2022
yes,
and the 2nd of April 2022 are. So Frank, if you got that, you will tell me. And the whole idea of getting it to this level.
Yes.
How has the sport been growing?
So we started our first season of competition, I would say around October last year, and we have been playing at least 2 fixtures every month, and that has been ongoing. It wasn't, the players were having a bit of mix-up where, like on the first fixtures. So like when they go into contact, some still want to rip the ball, but it's not. So it's taken some time. But as at yesterday, when we played our last fixtures, the tempo has really risen. There's more. The guys have become more aggressive and more game aware. Actually, we picked a couple of injuries that we didn't expect from that fixture yesterday. They were not that bad, but it was an indication of how aggressive it's actually grown. And even the guys who are turning up to just come and watch, we have gotten some numbers coming through. Yeah. So the interest is actually growing. Yeah.
Another aspect of the game is that you've got 5-6 attempts to make it to the track to score, and if you don't do it,
yes,
there is a turn. The opposing team
yes,
now gets the ball.
So yes, you get five chances to attack. When when you get to the sixth, then you get to kick it to the opponent side. Yes, so your kicker tries to kick it to the deepest end, so that when you're defending on their territory. So basically, that's like a technicality that exists in the game. Yeah, so it's just a trick so that when you're defending in their half, but not, yeah.
Well, Kenya will be playing against South Africa 26th of March 2022. Let's listen to Frans Persons, who's the CEO of South Africa Rugby League, speaking about the test matches that Kenya will be playing.
Yeah.
Kenyan residents, my name is Frans Persons. I am the CEO for South African Rugby League. My Kiswahili is not that good, but I'll give it my best shot. Jambo wa Kenya wote. Ini South Africa Rugby League. Tuna wahotea kutoka Pretoria tukutane Kisumu on 26 March for the first test match in the great lakeside city, alafu Nairobi for the second test on 2nd of April. Asanteni sana na tuonane. Kenya na South Africa, hakuna matata. I would like to wish you the best for this coming test series. This will be a historic test series, as this will be the first rugby league test match between the two countries. I'm sure we all will enjoy it, and the best thing is to learn from it, and may the best team win. Blessings.
Well, that is Frans Persons. I'm sure you sent him the Swahili script.
Yes, it was sent from this side. Yeah.
So ideally, how did this partnership come up? Because, you know, rugby league, we have it in Ghana, we have it in Nigeria, it's now being played in Kenya. South Africa have had that history of rugby union and rugby league.
Yes.
How did this conversation start?
So, just like any other sport, the international bodies are always keen to spread the brand of or your kind of a sport. If it's football, if it's rugby, okay, like football, it's a global sport. But rugby, be it union or league, we are still we are not all over. So when the chairman, Mr. Richard, approached the international body for registration, they've been a good support coming from that end, and he commenced the registration through the sports ministry here, and we were able to get the certificates. I think that was last year. Yeah, and there's been good support coming from the international bodies. So after that, then you see the local guys who are playing league in Africa. They are also happy to welcome like a new found family member. So there had been talks between the chairman, our chairman, and Mr. Frans in South Africa, and even there's conversation with Nigeria and the other African playing countries to start organizing fixtures, because when we have fixtures playing internationally, then it's easier to start growing the brand to the local people, and starting to recruit new fans, so that fans know when they're coming to a rugby game, it's not union, it's league, and it's equally entertaining. Yeah.
One of the places where you're going to have this is Kisumu. Why the choice of Kisumu?
Just in the spirit of spreading the game from the normal circles, because you see most of the international fixtures, be it football or any other thing, they're always held up here in Nairobi. So one thing that we are keen on is to try and take it out there and introduce the game to the people out there. And there's been very good reception from the county government of Kisumu. They're really looking forward to working with us, and they've given us a very good support. And you know, plans are underway, and we're looking forward to having a launch date very soon. Yeah. Well,
actually, and as we continue the conversation, you can actually see that there is a display of one rugby league game. You can notice that how they play it is different. The moment there is a tackle, you scratch the ball, roll it backwards.
Yeah.
And
game on.
Yeah. And you also, and remember that this is a sport that made Edward Rombo very famous. In the United Kingdom, former captain of Nairobi School and also played for Mean Machine, went to study in the UK, played rugby league for Leeds, became a big name.
Yeah.
The other match is going to be played here in Nairobi on the 2nd of April.
Yes.
How are you now working around activating for these two tests?
So we are looking to have the press launch in Kisumu, I think later this month. Once we launch that, we have been having also conversations going on potential corporate sponsors who we are still appealing out there if there are people who are interested in coming on board and being a part of this. We are welcome to having any kind of conversations and interest so that we can make the two tests become as big and as successful as possible, because there is the budget that we need to cover, and of course, we'll take any kind of support.
And would like to ask now the selection process for the national team. How is this done?
So since last year, when we've been playing our fixtures, we have been pointing out potential talent. Mr. John Mbai and I have been practically in almost all the fixtures, and we have potential names. So by next month, February, we will call for our first training camp. So from whoever we have selected from the past fixtures, we'll have maybe up to 40 players coming for a full day workshop, maybe on a Sunday at a selected place. And then we just start grinding from there, from the fitness level to game awareness as we head on to match, preparing for the test matches.
The coaching staff, tell us about them.
The coaching staff currently is headed by Mr. John Mbai. He's the head of technical, the game technicalities. He's been doing workshops with the coaches and the referees. And in March, we're also having an international workshop with representatives coming from, I think, is it Dubai, who are coming here to hold coaching lessons for our coaches. Because one thing we are determined to invest in is good quality coaches who can give us good quality players. Because without good coaches, we can't get good players. Yeah.
What's happening at the moment, and from previous conversations that we've had, anytime that we talk about rugby league, it is trying to get that player who probably can make it into the first 15 or the first 23 of a Kenya Cup or Eric Charlie Shield fifth union team is now getting converted to league. So Kevin, how are you intending to downstream this so that by the time someone comes to play at the competitive level, where the rugby league, so to speak, they already are not being converted, from a 15th person to a 13-a-side team?
So there's the general belief that everybody who comes to play league, definitely they are struggling in union. But I don't think that's what we are seeing on the ground. We have guys who are just, ever since we introduced, we have guys who are, they were playing the union version but never got to do any serious competition. But now when league came, they're more interested in playing the league. But then again, our plan is not to take people who've made a name on the the union version. We want to concentrate on growing our own, so that when someone is from high school, they've just been playing league all along. So that's why even probably the test matches that we'll have, we don't expect to have any big names from the international 15's teams. We just have the guys who we've been working with who will select. Maybe if there's someone who's interested and then they come for trials, and the technical guys, which is not me, Kina John Mbai, who decide that this guy is worthy, then they could get a chance. But we are really focused on growing our own people, so that there's nothing like we are competing with resources player-wise with the union. So we just grow our own. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've decided to take the path of Northern England.
Yeah.
Where, the breakaway for rugby league, which went professional, and the union remained our pure amateur sport, I think, until 95 or 96. Professionalizing this sport is the other thing. Everyone wants to use sport as a key source of revenue for them. What are the opportunities?
So, well, we just started, but we have knowledge on how to turn this thing into an income-generating activity that people can actually rely on for livelihood. It's one of the key things that we're really focused on, so that after playing a couple of seasons and we have made the brand bigger, then now we can say the federation gets to sign its players and the salaries are being paid centrally, you know, like something that is very structured nicely, and the resources are spread equally so that all the teams grow equally, so that we don't have an imbalance that when someone comes on board and this team has more finance, so then they get to win everything because they can get the best players.
A case of English clubs being by Arab sheikhs.
Exactly. So the guy with the most money gets to win. So it's something that we would really love to change, so that all the teams, since we are at a privilege of having seen such kind of scenarios, and we can have the conversation like, let's do it different and more green, so that everybody grows at the same time.
So ideally, you're looking at the model that's used by the NBA in the United States, or the Major League Soccer, American, where you've a whole franchise system and probably with salary caps, where
everything is controlled, and we move on from there, so then everybody grows.
Well, talking about growing the sport, and what you had the fixtures yesterday. Tell us about the next one, because I don't want David Omoyo to speak about our local sport again. Now, CEO MCK, he's gained us enough. Tell us where you are.
So we'll have our next fixture the weekend after next. We normally have, like, we had a fixture yesterday. So then we rest this weekend, then we have another one next weekend.
That's on the 13th.
So what happens is that we have played all around robin. So then from the rankings that we have right now, we are going to go into quarters, and then semis, then finals.
Give us in details now about those clubs, the quarterfinalists you have at the moment, where the matches will be played.
So we have a table of the results. What I know is that there is Kitengela Sharks, who are at the top, followed by Wolves, and then we have Buffaloes, and then there's Nakuru and Winam. We've been having 6 active clubs. So basically everybody's still
Winam are from Kisumu.
Yes.
Winam Gulf itself.
Yes. And then we have Rift Valley Ruffians, who are from Nakuru. Though there are other teams who are still in the formation stages. They have numbers, but structures are still not there as to start, because for you to start honoring fixtures, you need some financial help. So we have teams in Meru, we have in Kubu, we have a team in Western Malakisi. We have one that is supposed to come up in Nairobi, called Centurion, being led by one of our directors called Joel Nganga. So we just decided to start small with the teams that have been already training, and then once we close this fixture and this season, then now from next season now we can top up maybe 2 other teams, and then we go as we keep on perfecting the system.
All right. The quarters, where will they be played?
Most of our games in Nairobi have been held at the AP grounds in Utawala. But moving to the quarters, yeah, we might want to spice it up a bit and take it out to somewhere that is a little bit more accommodative and more commercial for the fans to come and enjoy. So it's a discussion that I think I'm going to have with the rest of the directors as soon as we are done here, so we can pick up a place and start to come up with a package that is much more interesting for people to come and watch and be entertained.
Well, the Kenya Rugby League Federation also has decided that they are going to go a little bit big, and they've decided to pull one huge rugby festival from the 9th to the 17th of July. 9 days of rugby, and this is not in Nairobi, not in Mombasa, not in Kisumu, not in Eldoret, not in the new city Nakuru, but in Samburu. Where did this idea come from?
Again, in the same mindset of trying to push the boundaries to new areas. So the idea of Samburu Rugby came, and with that so KRLF is the local federation partner to this event, sports partner. But the event is being run by World Sports Safaris. So World Sports Safaris is a company that is registered in the UK and Kenya, and looking to have such kind of rugby events in new places throughout the world. So not only in Samburu, but maybe in Kuala Lumpur, you know, a new area where the normal IRB circuit doesn't go to, but there's a lot of rugby market. Yeah, and Kenya is one of the places. So in the heart of all this, there is rugby, there is conservation, and there is tourism. So it's a very good green relationship between those three structures, because the conservancies up north, the host conservancy called Kalama Conservancy, one of their main plans, or I think conservancies in general, is to be financially independent, so that they can generate their own money and be independent from the donors. So Kalama, the hosting conservancy, who have partnered up with the World Sports Safaris and Kenya Rugby League Federation and given us land to have this event, they're really happy to do this, because as compared to the other conservancies that are up north, they are nearing that financial independence dream with this event coming through. Because when we do the Samburu Rugby, it's going to have a sports facility staying there, and it's something that can be used by any sports federation to come and prepare teams, national team, even the union, the football guys. You can go there, pay money, and it's money that is going to the conservancy, and you know they can use that to do their own jobs and start relying less from the donor fundings.
Let me talk about this event. You've decided to go big. I mean, you said you're breaking the limits. 60 teams. Yeah. Including probably tier 2 and 3 level national teams, which ideally means that teams going for the Commonwealth Games may not make it because of the playbooks. But how do you want to manage this? I'll use the Safari Sevens. 16 teams. Causes, I mean, you can see the activity around it. You're going 4 times the size.
So it's going to be a big event. Probably bigger than Safari Sevens. So we are making 3 pitches to accompany all these teams. We are minimum of 60 teams, and then there are nations like Sweden and the ones who are not in the IRB circuit who keep on looking for action. And they're really excited to come and play here. So there's been very good feedback from those nations, and even clubs based in the UK, United States, Dubai. We've had feedback even from Japan and even Monaco. Guys who are looking forward, they're curious to see what's happening. So as we keep on breaking ground and unveiling the plans, there's more inquiries and teams expressing interest to come and play.
All right.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you very much, and we wish you all the best. That's a very good idea for disappearing from Nairobi and get to watch some sport there. Kevin Adhere, he is the director of fixtures at the Kenya Rugby League Federation. Remember, the 26th of March in Kisumu, Kenya versus South Africa, 13-a-side rugby, and on the 2nd, they will be in Nairobi for the second test. Kenya versus South Africa, the first time they are playing that, and the Samburu Sevens happening from the 9th to the 17th of July. 9 days of rugby festival out in the bush. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you.
We shall be taking a short break, and when we get back, let's get into a conversation that was heavily, that may have almost gotten lost in translation. Arsene Wenger triggered it at the CAF Congress. People are asking, how come a little bit of that conversation hasn't been followed? It's just about the Biennial World Cup. How do you secure the career of an African footballer? The conversation is next.